I'd like to welcome everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in, grab a seat, grab a beer, and get yourself comfortable. And welcome to my kitchen. We got Mark and Scully, and well, Mr. Presley won't let me call him by the first name, so Mr. Presley. And then over in the corner, we got Santa Claus taking a crap. That's my kitchen. And let's see. I got my notes up here. Let me. Okay, everybody calls me Haas. And let's see, I'm not so much as a host as the ringleader of this shit show. This is a community effort, a combined thing. So when I run out of things to say, please join in. That's right, Boomer.
Wait.
Today's episode is called Half Baked. It is the story of EOD chefs. We will be interviewing the one, the only, thank God, the only, Chris Rogers. I don't know if you'd say founder of EOD Chefs, or whatever. But there are several people I would like to thank for joining us. Some of them aren't here, and but let's go with the drunken spark that started this shit show. Dave Grocken. Yeah, I understand it's this was done on a double dog dare. Oh, you and Chris, tell us a little bit about that.
So it wasn't a double dog dare. It was I have four kids, right, ranging from the age of 30 all the way down to 7. And a few years ago, after having a few bourbons, my daughter was watching Ratatouille. And I thought, something. We started thinking about this, and I said, we have a lot of amazing friends. Chris and I both common friends that are amazing cooks. Richie Henderson, Jeremiah Reamhill, just amazing, just guys who create some like, looking at Jerry's screen. I'm getting hungry just watching Jerry's screen right now, right? So, but I was watching, seeing all this stuff on Facebook, and I'm like, my God, we should do something that's like just chefs. No BS, no political crap. There's a lot of political crap going on right now. The eating pages are. So I called up Chris and I said, hey, you're more social media savvy than I am. I said, so tag her. Chris was like, nah, I don't want that's not, I don't have time for that. I don't want to do that. I'm like, no, I'm not asking, I'm telling you. Just, and he thought about it for about 20 minutes, and all of a sudden we were live. So
right on,
Chris.
Yeah, what's your take on it, Chris?
Hey, Lily, mute the phone, Ma. Mute the phone.
What?
Yourself.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that's exactly how it went down. I get a late night phone call. I can hear the rocks, glass, and ice banging around, and I go, you go. Rocks got an idea. Right? So he explained it. There was a bunch of that were using the hashtag. So there was a little informal community, Gerbo, Richie, myself, a couple other guys and gals. And I just didn't think it was going to go. And then, holy smokes, look at where we are now.
Yeah. Over 4,000 members. That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we hit, the first 6 months, we hit over 2,000. And then, just overnight,
wow.
Boom, boom, boom. So, but it was kind of funny because one of the things that Chris and I talked about was, all right, it's for us, for the benchmarks, right? For Rex. But then we were like, something? How many times have you guys gone to a shop party and one of the techs brought his buddy or his friend or his neighbor, and he got along just well? He fit in. He fit in with us weird people that diffuse bombs, like a brother or sister. So we opened it up to, hey, if you know somebody who's friendly, who's not going to be a problem, a shitstirrer, bring them on in.
Right.
Yeah, early on during the deep of COVID, we had really good experiences of getting messages in the background of people they've given permission for me to share this story. I've asked them. I won't name names to protect their privacy, but guys who were saying I was in a whole hole. I didn't think I was going to make it through this. I was so depressed. I had nothing to live for.
Yeah.
They joined the page, and they put him back in the kitchen. It got him motivated to be creative and to cook. And I've had a number of messages saying this page saved my life. And it is the community. We got so many great players. We've got a bunch of OGs like Underwood, Tara Bryson, Shauna Summers, Gerbo, Jesse Barcala, Dave Grock and myself, that are still around and still, remember when it was all about the silly hashtags, giving out demerits and all that kind of stuff. It's gotten so big now we can't issue demerits because we wouldn't have anybody left.
Well, yeah, and I want to get to that, but what you mentioned Gerbo. He's one of the five. This was originally supposed to be a closed thing, not open to whoever wanted to join, and it might have been good because there's only five of us now. But I tried to get a panel of five in addition to you and me to do this interview, and my thinking was, you've got over 4,000 members, and it's like, well, what if like say 100 of them try to congregate on your tiny little cell phone space, and but anyway, so I assembled a panel of five people, which I've got two of them here. I'm not sure what happened to the rest of them, but we'll make do. The second one, the second one I want to talk about is Mr. Shelton. There, it was unanimous. It was unanimous that we had to get him on this panel. It was well, I won't say imperative, but everybody felt, dude, we got to get Jerry Gerbo Shelton. The other unanimous thing was none of us could figure out why we felt that way. We did feel that he was perfect for Conan O'Brien's body double, but we didn't know other than that what he would do for the panel. So anyway, welcome, Jerry Gerbo.
Thank you, Haas. I'm definitely.
I had all these notes. I'm sorry, I had to use it. I had all these notes up here that.
No, it's a great intro. I'm always my rule is always like one in the background that's helping out. I'm like our first chef's working at the.
That's me. I'm your P2. Yeah, I'm back in the pub's cage. That's where I go.
P2, P3, like
yeah.
Send Publix.
Whoa.
Salad. Oh, I'm on it. And off I go.
There we go.
Do this because it sounded like it was going to be a roast, and I'm like, I can't roast the taco to do the taco.
Well, it was just supposed to be. It was supposed to be like this. Just bust Chris's balls.
You know how.
And that's where this next guy comes in.
Yeah, and I eventually came on board. Now I'm going to drop the hammer. I got some good clips here.
Right on.
It's all for love. It's all for respect, Chris. It's really great. I don't know what we're doing, but Haas is going to crack the whip and figure it out. But I'm looking forward to a good afternoon with you, buddy. Funny man.
Well, love you too, brother. That's why this page is so great because, now we got Haas on board, new energy, new ideas. That's what kept us afloat all the time. It was never one person or three people.
I can be used in the fact of an emergency landing. I'm a flotation device.
Teamwork makes the dream work, like I always say.
Yes, it does. Oh, okay.
I heard you were the responsible one taking care of Chris the other night. For you.
Somebody got to. He looked at me and said, "How do I get back to my room?" I'm like, "It's your room." Hey, listen, there was a couple nights, Jesse. I don't know how I got to my room either. I ended up there. So, except for the last night, the second night, and the fourth night, I got to my room. But not only was Jesse wasn't only watching out for like Chris. This guy was like, he had Boomer on a leash. I mean, he was juggling multiple flaming chainsaws. I thought it was awesome. They were all from Rogers family. Yeah. Lily was just like watching. She's like, someone else is doing this. This is amazing.
The best part was when Boomer punched John Simpson in the nuts. Just out of nowhere, we're walking back into the banquet hall, and John up? He's got a full glass of red wine, and he's wearing a suit, right? So he's got everything on that he would normally do as he's officiating those. And John reaches down and said, "Hey, Boomer, how's it going?" Wham! Punches him right in the nuts. Wine goes everywhere. I was like,
Uh,
I don't understand anymore.
Going better now.
Here's mentality. Actually, yeah, Chris mentality hacked it. Boomer walked up with a lizard in his hand, right, and put it into Chris Patelli from Australia, his hand, and then it turns it in half. That's forever. Chris was scarred.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised we didn't cook it. That's one of those things where it's around, somebody would throw it on a grill and put it on the kitchen. That's how they roll.
Okay, if I can, let's ask something about EOD chefs. More about or about Chris Rogers. Okay, Chris. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and what's your EOD experience?
So Bronx, born and raised, a little neighborhood, Italian American neighborhood, Hallam Bay. Butts up against the real Irish American neighborhood. Went to public school. Excuse me 1 second.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Great. Oh, right downstairs. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I'm on the phone, brother. I didn't think so. I know. I didn't
Great.
know we're out.
We're
Yeah.
losing our guest.
Sorry, buddy. All right. Bronx, born and raised, little Italian American neighborhood next to an Irish American neighborhood. Went to public school, then Catholic high school, Clark Feldman. Senior year of high school, mom and dad decided they want to move to Tucson, Arizona, so we moved out to Tucson. Tried college, didn't like it. Became a cop, didn't like it. 9/11 happened. 9/11 happened, and I
We didn't like none of us like that.
wanted to do something more counterterrorism related. So was looking at SWAT, was looking at Canine, and the bomb guys came to me and said, "Hey, I heard you were an electrician before you did this." I said I was. They said, "Well, why don't you join the bomb squad?" And I'm like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know shit about explosives." And they go, "Hell, trunk miners hang bombs in Arizona all day long. Teach you about explosives. You need your electronics background and drive and all that kind of stuff." And I tested. At the end of 2001, was assigned to the unit early 2002, and then did the unit for 8 till 2018 when it was time for us to decide whether we were going to PCS or stay in Tucson, and we chose PCS. So I separated and just did the full-time federal stuff. That's what I'm doing now.
Wow. That's awesome. Okay, as far as how did you okay, what's your cooking I can't I can't think of what the word is. Where'd you get your zest for cooking, your passion?
So that's a great question. So I was raised in a very cooking-oriented family, both my mom's side and my dad's side. Important things to
Is your
celebrate.
mom still here? Francine?
Yep, she's there.
Hmm.
She's there. So she so we every major event in my childhood and young adulthood
Uh-huh.
was shaped around a giant table with 20 people around it. You know what I mean? So we would go to my mother's parents' house every Sunday like clockwork, big Italian meal, usually Sunday gravy or something similar to that. And um, and it just became a part of me. And I loved to cook. I learned to cook. My mom's dad was a big inspiration for me. And then my mother is an awesome cook, so she was a big inspiration. And as I got older, I found that cooking opened doors, relationships, and getting to
does.
know people in parts of the world.
It really
kind of
does.
levels the playing field when you sit down and break bread with people. That's when I believe people are most vulnerable when they're eating, right? That's you got to eat, we got to breathe. That's all we got to do, right? So
Well, and poop.
when you're
Eat, breathe, and poop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's true. So that's kind of what it's about. And it just I was an art major in college, so I kind of transitioned
Nice.
to get to creativity. So
Okay, talking about EOD chefs, where we discussed how it actually got started, but once the wheels started going, what were some of your first, well, like the creation of the coin and What were some of the first things you did to really get the ball moving for everybody?
So the first thing we did, we kind of did a swag shop, right? So we went to a guy, just a small shop, because we knew we were going to get the kind of traction that Crab Zone prints out or some of those other places.
Right.
So I went to a buddy of mine who's also a public safety palm tech, an Army veteran, owns a screen printing business, and he's a great artist. So we ran a contest, and we had like 10 submittals of different logos, and the page
Yeah, I remember that.
logos, right? So the Vine Crab was one, and then the guy behind the barbecue grill was another one. So we selected our top 3 logos,
Mm.
and then we opened up a swag shop. And the swag shop early on was doing really good. We were spending a lot of money every month, BTMF and English Word Foundation, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, well, every shop needs a coin, right? So I looked at Vine Crab and I'm like, this kind of sums it up, you know what I mean? So I got with a guy on the page, Randy Dobson, and his son is Navy EOD at the schoolhouse, and he's a Navy guy also, not EOD, but a Navy veteran. And he owned a coin thing, right? So keep it in the family is always the theme of the page,
Oh, yeah.
right? So we decided to use him. He came up with the great idea of making the EOD chef's font steaks on a grill. So he kind of, came up with that, and then the Vine Crab, and then we put all 4 services in the HDS badge to include everybody that's active on the page.
Why not?
And they took off. So while we're talking about it, I got about 100 coins left. So if anybody did,
Oh, we've got another. Hello.
Jeff, somebody.
F-Trex modeling his new opossum gear. I love it.
That is perfect.
And
Nice.
Way to go.
Grapes on the grill.
Fantastic, bro.
Great.
Oh. Let me get back to it. No.
Yeah, so that came forward. It hasn't all been good. We've had some really bad experiences on the page that we had to kind of bond together and push through.
Yeah.
And but it seems like we always come out the other end. I mean, our membership. I think we had 1 month where we had a negative growth of membership. Other than that, membership is constantly in the positive percentage,
Yeah.
and we're getting real good feedback. There is stuff that goes on behind the scenes that the Council of Baddies has to deal with, and you're always going to have to think to keep us
I love
busy,
that. The Council of Patties.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where Chris and the rest of the team gets in there and just cuts it off. So again, one of the things we stood up was there was no drama on this page. Like we didn't want any of the crap that we saw with some of the other EOD pages. We didn't want the EOD after dark thing going on here. It was about food, text, drinks, and just try to get along, going on and getting along. And one of the things that popped up was that there was problems that get squashed quickly. So, and we've been pretty good about it. There was a couple things that popped up that we just couldn't react fast enough. And I think Chris and I think we all know which one that was.
Yeah.
So, but for the most part, it's been absolutely 100% positive. Every once in a while, somebody can get well hair up their rear end about, hey, you guys should put post out. Well, post them. I can see why.
Right.
So,
Right.
It's anywhere else, but for the most part, the admins, the true admins on this site have been phenomenal.
Yeah, William Hester was one of the first guys to stand up. He does a great job on the background as well. I forgot to mention him at the beginning. The biggest criticism we get, Haas, is taking posts down are not food related, especially like GoFundMe's and those kind of things. But we made the decision early on that there are dozens of EOD pages where we mourn who we lost, and we raise money for people in need, and we do that. That we felt that we were going to have one spot where we weren't touched by the not that those things are negative in nature, but they make us feel negative, right? So our thing was like, this is going to be our shelter, right? This is going to be our place where we don't have to constantly be reminded that we lose 22 a day, that we don't have to be constantly reminded, of all of that. And so it was a tough decision to make, but in the long run, I think it paid off. That after the long walk, adventures after the long walk, support for EOD families, there's a ton of forums where those things are discussed and they're the forefront. Where this one, you kind of want just that one spot, one spot where it wasn't the dark cloud, right? And it's hard. It pains me to pull down fundraising posts for EOD Warrior Foundation or GoFundMe's for a guy that got in a car accident. That's not an easy thing to do because you want to help, right?
Yeah,
but
right.
It's pretty slow,
Yeah.
And they defended me last week on that post that was put up, where one woman said, I put up a post, Chris took it down, and I was mad. But I called right away, and he explained it. Like, if we let those go, next thing you know, you're scrolling through 30 posts before you get to a food-related post.
Yeah.
And that, that's not what we're looking for, right? If we want to know who needs help, we'll jump over to After Long Walk. Resources for EOD families, right? You want
Right.
to learn how to make, Italian sausage? We're going to jump on EOD chefs and we'll do it and, keep it positive, right?
Right on.
That's always one of the fundamentals. Something to balance. The biggest flaws we had with these members was when someone live streamed their own suicide on the page, took the post down. And his friends did not like that. They were hurt by it. They felt it should have stayed.
You took
Grok
mine.
and I talked for over an hour about how that post should have been handled.
Yeah.
And our thing was, one, if it stays there, it's a constant reminder for everybody in the community. Two, there's some P2 listed in the book that were survivors that wanted to protect, right?
Right.
And three, we felt there were other places where it's sat. And I know Trix and After One Walk, you had a hard time with that as well. There are other places where it's sad, where if someone wanted to see what was going on, they could go over there, right? And that was the biggest negative that we had on the page. That was a tough one to get when we got to it.
Yeah. So I know I was on vacation. Can't remember where, but I was on vacation. And again, there's a few of these that popped up, and I was like, "Holy Christ!" I was sitting in front of my wife and another family member, and I couldn't call Chris fast enough. I was like, "What the hell just happened?" Chris was like, "I can't break fast enough." So, but agreed. That it was hard because some of us knew the person, and it was like, "What the hell? What happened?"
Yeah.
So, but that's life. I mean, the thing is, we live in a very real time live action world right now where
This proves it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason why like Facebook asks people that sit there and watch everything and say click, no, click, no. Right? We kind of have to do the same thing.
Oh.
So, but it's all about bring it back to the positive side. It's all about that Italian sausage. Right? It's all about that. Jim, I remember I asked. I'll ask a question about. I'll ask a question about the air frying chicken wings, and Jeff Turks jumps on 30 seconds later and answers my question. Done. That's what this whole page was for, and so what this whole page is about. And Chris and guys have done. I have seen Jerry on this page do some amazing things on this, and that's what this is about. It's not about the day-to-day struggles of an EOD technician. It's about the day-to-day starvation of an EOD technician. We got to feed ourselves.
That's a struggle.
It is. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm Jerry's killing me right now. Let's sushi guy.
Okay, I've got a question for Jesse because he hasn't said much. Jesse, this is from one of our viewers. If the moon were made of cheese, what kind of cheese do you think it would be made of?
Marty.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Dr. Chris.
My favorite. I like Havarti.
Okay, well that's not correct. I'm sorry. Chris, where do you see EOD chefs going in the future, or where would you like it to go?
You know what? One of my biggest concerns for the last 9 months is how big we've got. Like, we're losing that kind of the camaraderie that we had in the very beginning when we were a small handful of people, right? So that's why when you came up with this idea, I was like, man, that's brilliant. Let's get to know one another on a more personal level. Like, close virtual gap, right? Close that virtual gap on the internet, and let's see how Dave Rocken makes his Cleveland chili in his kitchen. Those
You make chili?
It's Cincinnati chili, and I don't make that by that.
I got a batch I just made Cincinnati chili, or my version of it. It's disgusting because they add cinnamon to it. It's an abomination, but I do it in such a way that it tastes good. I've been cooking chili. In fact, I've been cooking chili for 28 years, and I'm thinking about doing next week's thing on just the theory of chili cooking because nobody freaking signed up yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'd like to see. More in-person and virtual events where we really get to know one another, we share that camaraderie, and learn from each other and those kind of things. That's really that's next level, right? What we're doing now is pretty easy. So that's my thoughts on that.
And on the subject of not showing up and small groups and things like that, everything starts really, really small, really small.
Evidently,
The chef started with just like 3 or 4 of us, just
Yeah.
our pineapple on pizza. But the more it happens, the more it grows. The EOD Warrior Foundation is doing the Reducing the Stigma events, where it's a video panel and a live panel. And the first one, 4 people showed up. The next one, 8 people showed up. They did one in Germany, and it was worth going to Germany. I haven't seen the video, but more people showed up. They're doing one in Colorado soon, and more people will show up. And the more and more and more times you do it, the more and more people will show up.
Right on.
Today we did the OD hits 500 days on the 22 push-ups, and we had enough people there to fill the screen, and it was great. It wasn't just 2 or 3 people, but there could have been more. And when we hit 1,000, there'll be more. So every time you do something, more and more people join in. So the videos will start picking up. I think what's his name? Todd Wilson says, if you plan it, they will come. So do it one time, then 2 people show up, and they tell 2 people, and they tell 2 people, and then it gets ridiculous, and it turns into a community.
Yeah, I sincerely agree. Should we start to close this up? I mean, let's see, we've been going on for a little over half an hour. I do have 1 or 2 more questions. Chris, how do you respond to the accusation that you rule EOD chefs with an iron fist? Kind of like a combination of Adolf Hitler and Larry from the Three Stooges.
Iron palms.
Look, train bomb tech all over the world, right? And if you don't set parameters, shit will go off the rail. So that's
Here's a visualization.
what? That's right. Yeah,
Now,
parameters, things
yeah,
the right
but
rail.
somebody said you banned a person for life for refusing to use the hashtag stinky pea sticks. It was your mother, Chris. Your mother. Banned for life. It was your mother. Oh, God. Let's see. Shit, I think I'm all out of serious notes. We talked about the past, present, and the future. Your wife was supposed to join us as one of the interrogators, but that couldn't happen. No worries.
So I have a question for Jerry. So I'm going to open this up to because again, Jerry's part of the OG group, right? So Jerry, what are the things that you've seen that have worked well with this page, and things that have worked not so well?
Okay, easy question. I love it because, as one of the founding members, when this started back in, 2 years ago, can't believe it's only been 2 years. I thought it would be a thing for 6 months and people be really into it, and then it would start kind of tapering off. But I was wrong. It took hold, and it became kind of like conversation. I remember going to an event in Charleston and talking to some bomb techs, and I saw one of them, kind of wearing, he had an EOD chef's patch, and I wish I could remember his name right now, but I couldn't. I was like, oh, so we talked about EOD chefs for the next half hour or whatever. At that point, I realized it's gone beyond Facebook. It's now our language, our culture and stuff. And it is that break. And I don't think you guys should apologize for moderating all the regular EOD stuff out of the chefs group, because it needs to be there. It's our little island where we can kind of it's our happy place. I'm glad you guys accept some of the memes. A lot of them are kind of on the edge. Like some of the pineapple and pizza stuff gets a little retired after a while, but there's always a new twist. And so that energy, that excitement, I don't think anybody can match Haas's energy here on the page. But
I don't know about
and then
that.
I'm also, on the other hand, I'm seeing some super professional like activity on there. We have some actual chefs with kind of culinary. We all know who they are. And the way they post stuff and the way it's plated, and there may be they may do that 100 times that night and put it out with perfection on each plate. Then it gives you that level of we know what the fuck we're talking about here too. Like we got some skills in here. So it's a mix of fun and professionalism, and it's a great balance. And I think that's exactly what the EOD and public safety bomb tech community is all about. Play hard, work hard.
Oh, absolutely.
So-
I agree with that.
Thing that at the shop party sometimes they put clear bubble moments. Someone's going to say something offensive, or it's bound to happen, right? So
Oh, absolutely.
So one of the things that I appreciate is when, especially working for mid-eng and going all over the place, people will walk up, like, hey man, did you see that post on EOD chefs? But when you get higher up people, the general officers, will say some elected officials walk up to you and say the same thing to you. You've struck a chord. So we've done something right. So, and that's one of the things that I think that I always look back on and say, again, Reaper Dave watching Ratatouille with his daughter saying, man, I would love some Ratatouille right now. Right? Because I'm starving. Going to where we're at now has been amazing. And it's one of those things where it's, I want to see us continue to do this and grow.
Oh, hell yeah.
Chris is right. We get to the point where, when we get so many members that it gets to be where we have, Tara's already on like full-time staff. Let's be real. He sits in front. She's up in the mountains watching her stuff, watching her food, watching the page. Yeah, she's
Much for yourself. Love her.
oh yeah, so much. So
Oh,
but
I'm getting a message from Christine Hamilton.
Yeah.
She was supposed to join us. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's
So
see.
Jerry, just the dovetails, like, the Luis Coronas, Lauren Corona, and, the two Asia, right, who joined us a few months ago. They are setting a bar, and it has been really watch, man. Some of the stuff. Like, I'm like, I give up. I never posted anything on the page again. It's been cool, to really see some really high-end stuff.
the cookouts that we're doing. So down there in Florida, the competitions.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. I didn't go this year, so sorry.
Dave, I didn't directly answer your question, but cook-offs would have been one. The ammo can challenge that Jason.
I'll be right back.
It's another good one. The hashtag movement was really fun. I think that was like a catalyst. That was like the start of the fire, because then it was like all about demerits and and then merits too. If you mention something that you didn't have to, it's like, oh, merits. Like that. Inspiring another chef became one of my favorite ones.
Yep.
Like, hey, Jesse had some ribs on the other night, and I made them myself. So he gets 100 merit for inspiring another chef. Just fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Chris, I did have a question. Haas asked us to prepare a couple of questions, but he kind of stole my thunder, because he asked about family experience. So I'm going to ask you this question while on. So I'm sure you've heard the rumor that the real reason you founded EOD Chefs is because you're a diva who didn't get enough attention as a child. Tell us more about what Sunday gravy means to you.
I was the firstborn. I was the first grandson on one side of the family. I got plenty of attention.
For Sunday gravy's missed, a lot of people are the gravy and sauce and all this stuff.
No.
But, you Sunday gravy is it's like Sunday lunch in England. It's the
Right. So here's the thing with that, right? That's even a debate among Italian Americans, like very Italian American they've grown up, right? But I will tell you this. Under the culinary definition, gravy is meat based. Sauce is meat based. It's gravy. No, there's no debating. It's over. The date's open. If you could, you can say the wrong thing all the time. I don't care. Do what you cook, what you like. Look, it doesn't make you right.
There she is. There she is. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome the better half of EOD Home Buying, Christine Hamilton.
Hey, I am such a
Dumbass. Yes, you are. That's okay.
And I'm here with your encouragement, so come on.
Am I the only one that did that? I please.
No, Lily's not here.
I was a little late.
Let's see, Jerry, and James Underwood's not here.
And I sponsored him. Right? It must something.
Oh, but my dog is here to make up for it. So that's a plus.
I gotta.
I had this whole thing. I've got notes up here. I had an intro for everybody, and you people suck. Yeah. I was like all stressed out. It's like, and number two, I was drinking all day because I was like, I'm gonna be drunk when it comes around, and I am. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, how am I gonna pull this off? And it's like, just relax, just relax. These idiots will pull it off by themselves. All you got to do is orchestrate it.
What I tell you, it worked out great. It's
You
fun.
did a great job, buddy. Great job.
So,
Christine just
fun. So,
Yeah.
tough gravy and sauce, but like Sunday gravy though. The term Sunday gravy. That's a term that's foreign to a lot of people.
I wondered about that too. Is that like something like red eye gravy with coffee and? Don't know if that's a thing. It's a thing.
You and Lily and
Yeah. So yeah, it's just a traditional Sunday meal in your Italian household. If you go in the Sopranos cookbook, the recipe that Sunday gravy is the Sopranos cookbook. It is a common terminology. It's called that in the vernacular, and many families call it that.
You claim to be of Sicilian descent, and you buy a book based on an HBO TV show. No, God damn, no.
It's a great cookbook. It's one of the best Italian cookbooks out there. It really is.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Okay.
like stories about
Okay.
the rest. Yeah.
I mi dispiace.
Nice.
I'm married into an Italian family who's got an Italian family cookbook, and I'm gonna tell you right now, that's an amazing cookbook. To the point where there's some sauces that I had gone to the grave.
Yeah.
Really? Wow. Well, I've heard from the best. I got to check it out.
So, Jerry, did I answer your question, Bob?
yes, you did. I have another follow-up question for you. Awesome. If I can
Okay.
drop that one.
No, please.
So this is a short one. Some say EOD Chef's Facebook group where food meets fireworks. What's on your table over the 4th of July holiday?
All right. Great
Nice.
question. So first of all, happy 4th of July, fellas. Happy Independence Day, Great. So my youngest brother, who I haven't seen 2 years, is in town. And him and two of his 3 children are in town with us for the weekend. And so we had a nice slow day yesterday. Today we went on the boat. Tomorrow we're going to Opal Beach. We're going to spend the day on the beach. We're going to do a low country boil this weekend. We made some wild hog chili this weekend.
Low country. Awesome.
We're going to do some grilled octopus this weekend. Tuesday we're going to go in the pool. And then Wednesday I leave for the Philippines again. So it's going to be a short visit, but I'm super happy to have him here. So
Fantastic.
Right on.
no Sunday
That sounds
gravy.
amazing.
No Sunday gravy. A
Yeah.
country boil instead.
I'm from South Carolina, so I'm loving that.
Well, it's funny because he used to be a vegetarian and a moisture. That's like
What's going on down there?
I looked up a trip and got a vegetarian. She chili last night on Boston. That's not here to cook for. He's thinking that all right. He says the world's gonna burn anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. He said, "Over."
Okay, for our late joining guest, Christine Hamilton, who was supposed to be here earlier, I have a multiple choice question for you. In which of the following scenarios is it okay? Are you with me? Ready?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. In which of the following scenarios is it okay to throw the baby out with the bathwater? A, you're trying to teach it to swim.
Yeah.
B, you're a dick. C, you're teaching a self-reliance. Or D, yeah, you're a dick.
Right. Ooh,
That's a tough one. I know, right? Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Thank you for taking the heat, because this question was supposed to go to Chris Rogers. But
but I was late.
yeah,
Fine.
exactly. We're just trying to do the inclusion thing.
Hey, then I get to ask my question.
One more time, please.
Do I get to ask my question?
Oh
Or-
yeah, yes. If you got a question for Chris, please go ahead. There's really no rules here.
So yeah, Chris, when people come to your house, or you go to someone's house with a dog, do they have to hide the dogs from you in case you're gonna potentially eat them? Do the people feel safe with you around their dogs?
Now wait a minute. Is this a multiple choice question?
Tell you why. So there's a rule. You don't eat a dog that has a collar or that has a name. So if the dog has a collar and a name, they're safe. You don't kill with dogs that are roaming.
And look at the popcorn.
Go for that eat everything joke, right?
Another thing I was kind of interested in is I know that you like your expensive hobbies, and you're always going around. Do you budget for that by eating insects?
So
And
How visual are we allowed to get? Because
So that's a great question, right? Because people are like, holy shit, dropped $1,000 on a bill, right? So I drive a 2015 truck. I live in a simple home. I buy things.
with a pool,
Drive a brand new picked up truck. I spend my money on food, right? Like experience. Life is about experience fitting together.
in exchange stuff.
amen.
You
Did you have another one, Christine? Did you frozen?
Yeah,
joining. Okay. And
Jesse, are you still alive?
I'm just joking with. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, I think Christine asked that question. Broke off.
Yeah, it's hard to hear on my end too. I think Jeff just farted. He's waving the yeah.
Why have we mentioned? Throwaway question, boss, for a backup in case we need to.
I was wondering if we might want to wrap up. It seems like everybody's running. But yeah, no, please, if you got something to ask, I've got a couple more questions too, but they're just throwaway questions. Yeah.
Whatever you guys want to do as a group, but I think this might lead to something because we talked
Yeah, by all
earlier about EOD chef activities that seem to bring people together and stuff. And I thought of one the other night because I had a conversation with Chris a while ago, and I know something about him that I'm not sure everybody else knows. And a concept called breakdancing, right, or b-boying. Right? Did you know that came from the Bronx? That came from the Bronx in the 70s and was popularized around the country around the 80s. Chris, how into breaking were you when you were in the Bronx?
I had my.
Would you be willing to show us some of them boy moves?
So I was pretty good. I was pretty. I put my own black jersey, but not for fat old. And it's still like.
I think you can pull it off, but I'm just saying. That's so I knew that I wanted everybody.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Trish Rogers' better half. The real drive, I'm sure, behind EOD chefs, Lily Rogers.
Oh yeah,
Welcome.
Chris. How do you make a tan when you're in the shadow of Lily? Oh yeah.
Ah, good one. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that brings me to my next. Go ahead. That brings me to my next question. Okay, Chris. If Lily, your wife, were here, and she finally is, what would she say was your favorite dish that you prepare for her in your kitchen? Whip it out, brother.
My chicken soup.
Can you describe your chicken soup? Come on, you just can't like this. Is it got what kind of noodles you use? I'm yeah, like okay. Okay, well let's see. Let's see what the no, I'm sorry. She says it's Chef Boyardee in a can, and I quote here, and because even Chris can't fuck that up. Is that sound about right?
That shit ain't even allowed in our house. It's not gonna happen.
I'm sorry, folks, but not allowed in our house.
Yeah, yeah, right there, Chris, right there. Right there.
Oh my God, Chris is fired. You're fired.
Thank you, Lily. That just felt amazing.
Oh my goodness. They're gonna break out a piece of pineapple.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
Wait. Nice one, Lily.
That went up great. Alrighty then. I'm not even sure how to close this out. Any thoughts?
Just like look at this turnout. All solid rock stars, man. That's what makes me serious. It's never not about me to tell you guys like about it, but it is about everybody on the page. Put the time in, take the time to put a post up, each recipe for someone to learn from. I mean, that's what made the page great. You know, the word of mouth, how we spread, and just look at the cook off this year. It was amazing. It's gonna be even better next year. Christine and I have already been working on the cook-off behind the scenes. It's ready.
Now, if I understand it right, there were 5 contestants. Or there were 15 that signed up, 5 that showed up. How was it the previous year?
We had 6 previous year.
Huh. Okay. But
listen,
yeah.
I took the page, and the good thing was expense to buy a plane ticket, to fly down here, to then buy the food, do all that. It costs people a lot of money. They want to participate. So
Oh no, I agree. Yeah.
Read the stipends of each chef, so that it's more attainable for financial spectrum, right? So young guy new to the military, just graduated from school, he should be able to afford to come down and do it just as much as
Yeah.
a badge wearing lieutenant colonel, right? You know what I mean? So we're trying to figure out ways to make it more accessible to compete in it and not break the bank. And I think if we do that, we'll see more.
Completely understand it. Yeah. I got so excited I committed to it and was like, I don't know the fuck I'm gonna cook, but I'm gonna be there. Okay, should we wrap this up? I think we should wrap this up. It's been a while. This is a recording, and I hope that like edit it down to like say 15 minutes or so they can watch it.
Toronto, post everything.
Okay.
Post it all.
You finally say something.
We're talking about awkward.
The person talking about Jen.
I got my breakdancing question in, so we can stop in the time. We're done. Yeah, Jerry's here to keep us sane.
You guys get a chance to talk about kind of direction and vision for the EHS group, but kind of trying to get to, and I think that was kind of my next question was going to be about the vision and direction for EHS group, kind of what we're trying to go towards.
Yeah, we did. We talked about that. One of the things, what we said was that we've grown so big doing things like this. Like welcome to my kitchen and more in-person events, so we get to know one each other and we keep that camaraderie and the bond and break down those virtual distances that we have. I think that's next level. That's like what we should strive for.
Sorry, I apologize. I know I was late, so that's on me for missing that part. But I just want to make sure.
Oh yeah, you didn't get to see the. You didn't get
because as we like talking about food, I have to cook food for most people, so I'm talking to you later. Awesome. Chris, as always. Lily, thanks for coming in. And Cam, Jeff, good to see you. Misha, thanks. Very awesome. Awesome. Jesse, thanks for keeping me. It seems like you've keeping me for this week also. But thanks for keeping me speaking.
I can only watch 2 runners at a time. I can't do 2 runners at a time. No, let me take care of it.
For those of you that signed up late, for those of you that showed up late, this is what Chris Rogers looks like with combination between him, Larry from Three Stooges, and Hitler. There we go. One, there.
Jerry, I didn't let a video get in the way of cooking, and I'll leave with that.
I love it.
Man, Jeff.
Wish I could drive up there and grab some. Maybe I'll do that. It's only like 2 hours, so.
About 2 hours. Meet you at Buc-ee's.
Well, I'll see you next week anyway.
Well, alrighty. Now it's getting awkward.
My brother's trying to find our house. He's driving so I can participate in this. It's lost. I get lost on.
Well, hey, I'd say from the reluctant one who joined in peer pressure only, because I did not want to do this. I had no idea where you were going.
That was me.
Like,
That was me.
So Haas has got an energy that's like crazy, and I'm like, I cannot match that or keep up. Okay. And
I would never ask you to.
And Lily was all for it. I'm like, all right, I'll trust them. If I should be here, I'll be here.
I peed my pants.
You're the man. Well, you wear Depends, so it's all good. I saw him like peeking out of the top when you were walking away.
Yeah.
I noticed that stuff, but good on you, man. Like, be a force in this group, man. Keep us together. Keep reminding the reluctant ones they need to come on board and play. So.
This has been great. I wish everybody could have shown up but I understand life happens. Yeah, I'm not discouraged at all. We'll keep doing something like this. Where'd you go, Chris?
Sarah and Pete next time.
I love it. I think it was a lot of fun. I think it was a great idea. Again, to reiterate what Gerbo said, Scott, your energy, you breathe fresh life into the page. I also appreciate it, man. It's great to have you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Now everybody's just like looking at me like, and now you know the rest of the story. I'm Paul Harvey. Good day.